Sitting here in my rental. When you rent a car, it's always a good idea to take. But when you're looking for an Airbnb, there's a couple of things that I would definitely do. Then I'm going to clean up, and I'm going to show you the cleanup, and then I'll also show you kind of a room by room so that you can see this Airbnb. All right, so I came to North Carolina, as you know, to bring my daughter Crecia down because she's moving here. And it's time to go home. I need to be out of my Airbnb in like a half an hour. I went shopping to Target. I'm not wearing this on the plane because it has this big slit. I'm sitting here in my rental. When you rent a car, it's always a good idea to take pictures of it before you leave the rental place, especially with cell phones today. It's going to give like a timestamp, a date and timestamp on the pictures. And so if you go back and they say that you scratched the car, you can show them the pictures and be like, no, that scratch was there. Even if they wrote it down, I still think it's a good idea to take pictures. That way you can't get blamed for anything. Okay, this sweatshirt is like the softest. Oh my, I don't know how to do it. There we go. So soft. Love these. Okay, I love the color of this one, but I actually feel like it's too big. Mostly because my neck is like small. So this is cute. Very comfortable. I like the color. I like it better on me than the yellow. I tried the yellow on, but I don't think I'm a yellow person. I really like the cut on this shirt. The way it kind of goes up here. I don't usually do stripes, but I kind of like it. So I got, this is so soft. Thought I'd show you what I got. And it was on clearance for $14 at Target. Went to Target. So that's going on the plane with me because I am always cold. I need to decide, am I wearing this one or this one? These are so cute. And one of the only ones that weren't like rock and roll or a cartoon I hadn't heard of. So this one's larger on me than this one. But since I'll be putting on the t-shirt, maybe I will wear this one. And then I also got this, which I have one at home, but it's a bit small for me. So this is the next size up. One of the things I did before I lost my 100 pounds is I went and bought new clothes that fit me at the weight I was at. It just really helped me mentally. I got this, and I thought this would be cute under it. See? But I like that it had the crew neck rather than some of the ones I have that are like tanks. And then these are the pants I'm going to wear. They're wide leg, super comfy. I also got this. If I didn't have to wear a sweatshirt, I might wear this, but I'll also put this under here. But this is so light and flowy. I mean, I don't have to put this under there, but it's very light and flowy. I also needed toothpaste because I had to give Crecia my toothpaste. This one says removes 15 years of stains. No pressure, Colgate, but I'm counting on it. All right, these are coming home with me because in Maine, you pay for bags. Not in North Carolina. Also, I got Good and Gather double chocolate coffee. This is light roast. This is so good. I'm going to bring the K-Cups home. That's what I was drinking here. And then, is that everything? Oh, this I'm going to read on the airplane. The friend of ours who is renting a room to Crecia, she gave this to me. It's called Looking Up, A Birder's Guide to Hope Through Grief. I'm really looking forward to this, and I will let you know what I think of it. It's written by Courtney Ellis. It says, through the painful days of the pandemic, while stuck in her home, Courtney Ellis found herself looking down in despair soon after her beloved grandfather died unexpectedly. It was around the same time that Ellis took up bird watching. Watching birds. Took up might not be exactly right. As she puts it, the switch flipped and she's been borderline obsessed with birds ever since. Looking Up is a meditation on birding as a practice of hope, weaving together stories from her own life, including the death of her grandfather, with reflections on birds of many kinds. Ellis invites us to open our eyes to the goodness of God, both in the natural world and in our own lives. By looking up to the birds, Ellis found the beauty and wonder of these creatures calling her out of the darkness into the light and hope of God's promises. Doesn't that sound awesome? So I'll be reading this on the airplane. I feel like it's one you read slowly, but we'll see. All right. Now, I need to get this place cleaned up. As I said, I have a half an hour. First, I'm going to brush my teeth with my toothpaste. I brushed them without toothpaste this morning, but it is not the same. Then I'm going to clean up, and I'm going to show you the cleanup, and then I'll also show you kind of a room by room so that you can see this Airbnb that I got, which is actually right across the street from a rec center, which is kind of cool. So I look out and I see people walking, and I hear birds, and it's been beautiful. I'm going to do the dishes first. I haven't eaten here. I've only drank. And I haven't done any of my dishes. There's no dish towel that I have found. I do have one shower towel that I didn't use, and so I could use that if I need to, but let's see if these will dry before I leave. I also took any damp towels and I put them in the clothes dryer. That way I'll lay them where they can tell I used them. But that way, if the cleaners don't come right away, they won't have any stinky towels. Some Airbnbs will ask you to wash your stuff or to at least have it as far as the dryer. This one didn't have any rules for us. Okay, that seems to be cold. Oh, is this the opposite? Yeah, this one didn't have any rules, but I just try to think, what would I want? And I also always message the host when I leave, and I will say, this is here, this is there, this is what I did, these are the beds I used, like there's a bedroom I didn't even use, so I'll tell them that. That way the cleaners aren't wasting their time cleaning stuff that's not dirty. So I try to do that, I try to think, what would I want? But when you're looking for an Airbnb, there's a couple of things that I would definitely do. One is go outside of the Airbnb or VRBO, doesn't matter. Go outside of their app or website, Google the address, and look at it on satellite. Make sure it really is what they're saying. I'm sure these people are vetted, but my son had a terrible experience where they rented an Airbnb and the person had them meet at a second location. Oops. And the location was where the property was supposed to be. So it was the address on Airbnb where they met, but it was actually like a school. And then they had them go to the address, which was an apartment that they did not have permission to rent out. So Airbnb would not refund my son's money. If you are going somewhere, like when I went to Florida, to Disney to visit my sisters, they drove by the property. So if you have somebody you know that lives in the area, it would not hurt at all. It would only help for you to have them drive by the house, make sure it's a house, make sure it's really what it's advertised to be. Obviously they can't go inside, but it just gives you that extra note of security. The other thing that I learned, because I had rented one, I was going to do a video for somebody in Maine, but it was far enough away that I decided to get an Airbnb and just spend the whole weekend there. And the person had to cancel. So I wasn't going, even though I had gotten the insurance just in case that happened, I ended up finding out you don't really get the whole amount back. It was like a small amount. Fortunately for me, one of those bad situations turned good. There was a hurricane and it was going to be a direct hit in that area. And so I was able to, if you could get the owner to agree, then Airbnb will give you back all of your money. So I was able to get my money back because of the hurricane. unfortunately, I have to dump out this orange juice and my coffee creamer. And I'll just leave the containers for recycling because they didn't leave me any instructions on what usually people will tell you. But, you know, it just depends. So also when you're looking for an Airbnb, look at what the requirements are, because if they have a lot of cleaning requirements for you, you might want to move on to another one and, you know what you're getting yourself into for sure. Because I have had ones where I'm thinking, there's a cleaning fee. What in the world is the cleaner doing, you know, when I'm washing everything for you, except making the beds? So is the cleaning fee really warranting that much work for me? And so all those things come into play also. All right. So I'll leave these here, and we'll see if they dry, and then I'll put them away before I go. I actually used both bedrooms because Creasy was with me the first night, and I let her choose, and she chose the master bedroom. So then, after the first night, when she wasn't with me, then I was like, I'm moving into the master. So I need to pack for both rooms. So this was the bedroom I didn't use. And then it had a computer, and I'm glad I didn't have to use it. I mean, it would have been fine, but this was, you know, there's usually like one locked room or closet. So this was the room that had it. And then this was the bathroom I used the first night. You know, definitely adequate. Whoops, definitely adequate. I haven't had this on, look, I have it on a tripod. So, and the shower. Whoops. Okay, sorry for the crappy filming, but there's the shower. So yeah, and then coming out into the main area, but then here to the left was the bedroom that I was in the first night. I like a lot of blankets. If you've ever seen me make my bed, you know this. So I use both comforters. So now I'm just gonna, you know, go ahead and put this comforter back on that bed and then bring in my suitcase for this stuff. I also always unpack. When I go to an Airbnb, I put the stuff in the closet and in the drawers. So I just like that so much better than living out of a suitcase. A lot of times it just feels like living out of a suitcase, everything is messy, and if I can get my stuff hung up, then a lot of times the wrinkles will come out before I wear them, especially when I go south and I'm in a humid climate. It does help with the wrinkling situation, but there is usually an iron. I did see an iron here. I didn't see the ironing board, but I didn't look that hard either. So I'm sure they're gonna make, you know, clean these sheets, but I just like I think I've heard that renters of Airbnbs, you get a rating that other Airbnb owners get to see. So I like to make sure when they come in, they're like, oh, a clean person, you know. So what I had done, I usually I don't pack light, but I knew because we were moving Creasy, I mean, she was trying to fit her whole life in 2 suitcases that we were checking. So what I did was I packed as light as humanly possible. I don't know if I can get this sticker off. And then she was able to use half of my suitcase. So then when we got her to her bedroom yesterday, she just emptied my suitcase of her stuff. And then I was able to go shopping, because I didn't need that much space. So I got to go to my son's church and the church my daughter will be going to. That was awesome. I was so glad I got to do that. So I wore this dress. This is like one of the most comfy dresses I have. And actually, it is the comfiest dress I have. I would really like to get some more summer dresses. I do enjoy wearing dresses now. Okay. But, you know, I have gained a little bit back and I really want to lose it. And so going to Target, I felt like was the first step. Getting some cute clothes that make me feel good about myself at this weight, which was what I did, 100 pounds heavier, was really encouraging for me because I feel like when you feel really badly about yourself, it makes it harder to lose weight. I wear these under my sundress. I must have got them at Target, honestly. Time and True. White. Oh no, made in Hecho and China. No. Anyways, these little legging things. I like to wear them with a dress. And then this bag that Pam gave me from the UK. She's one of our viewers here. This is what I used, and it was very smart of me, I realized, because it is super soft. Not super soft, super light. All right, I'm going to keep all my baggies. So I always, because I'm flying Delta, and it's a longer flight, I know they'll have the TV screen, so I always bring my own headphones. Spare pair of reading glasses, because I've been known to break my reading glasses. And I use my husband's jacket. I'm always cold on airplanes. So I use my husband's jacket going down, but I will be using my new sweatshirt on the way home. Okay, so that's all I need from this room. Oh, no, that's not true. I gotta make sure I do a check of all drawers. So here's undergarments I didn't use. I also always bring a plastic bag for dirty undergarments. That way, when I don't wash the clothes, I don't have to worry. I don't want it, you know, I like to keep it separate. So those go in here. And then I'm keeping these grocery store bags. I don't know if you could really see, but this is the bag I'll take on the airplane. All right, I've got 20-ish, 25 minutes to be out of here. So keep out what I'm wearing. Take the tags just in case something funky happens to them. I didn't want to wear my jogger pants again. You'll notice I'm being messy because I just realized what time it is. Oh man. Kinda would love to cut the tags off of this sweatshirt because I hate feeling the tags. All right, so I'm wearing these. I did this, that can go in there. Not wearing these, so these can go in there. Keeping the bags, shutting off the TV. So this is trash. I'll get this better organized, but for now, just to make sure I have it, I have gum for the airplane. I have one antacid. I have the cord with the wider end. I had to buy one of these because I had the narrow one, which is fine for my rental car, but this is the kind that is used on my bus, as well as, here's my AirPods, that'll go in my pocketbook, on the bus as well as the airplane. So on the way down here, I had the wrong one, and so I couldn't charge my phone on the bus. So these I'm wearing. This I'm reading on the bus. Here is my K-cups. So now I just need what's in the bathroom. It's funny, when I come here, you know, I'm trying to be all careful and all kinds of separate bags. And then when I go home, it's just like, oh, just shove it in a bag, it's fine. Oh, that's completely the difference between coming and going. But Gladlock bags I find to be invaluable on an airplane. You can double wrap things that could leak, you know. So Then I'll have to run around and make sure I have not missed anything. This is going with me. I've got my lipstick, which goes in my pocketbook. My Target receipt can go in my suitcase. Okay, so now, let's see, in the bathroom. So here is my outfit. And then on the airplane, I'll have this sweatshirt with me. Yeah, I really liked the mushrooms. Now I'll just put on my shoes, do a final pack, put those dishes away, and we can get out. Oh, I need to pack my tripod. Can't forget that. These pants are just a little bit itchy. Hoping that's not going to bother me. Also, they're a little long. It said a 31-inch inseam, I thought, and I thought I had a 32-inch, but apparently not. Apparently I'm shrinking. So I'm just going to put my pocketbook in this bag too. That way, when I get on the airplane, you know, super light, super easy. I can close this, and then I can fold this blanket. Whoops, my pills. It's empty now. All right. I only brought enough of my prescription for the time I'm here. That way, if it got lost or if anything happened to it, it's okay, you know? Whoops, wrong one. I always do that. That's the right one. This is the one that needs to be shut first. You know, they don't want you expanding it anymore. And this is the one that actually closes it. All right. Got this. I got this. I got this. And then I can make this bed. And this was in a bag, but I want them to know, oh, it's knocking me over. I want them to know I used it. It was just too soft to resist. It was in the closet. I found it. I always look through the closets, you know. I like a certain amount of weight when I sleep too, but this was just very comforting to me last night. We're going to call these good enough. They're at least drip dry. They turn their cup size upside down, which I hate, because then I feel like the cups taste like the cabinet. But it's not my house, so I'll do it their way. Now I'll gather the towels. Forgot to turn it on, but at least they're only damp. And there's a dry one on the bottom. Ah, crazy when you're in a hurry, right? Okay. I'll just tidy the pillows, and then I can do a walkthrough, and we can go. I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A and get myself a Cobb salad for lunch, which is about 5 minutes from here. Everything was like 5 to 10 minutes from here, which is amazing for me. As you know, I'm like 35 minutes from literally everything. You just shut everything off. All right, so when you walk in the front door, here's what you see. I never did find the remote for this TV, so that was fine. I'm not really into TV. And then right to the left is the master bedroom. You could really tell this is basically only used for an Airbnb. I mean, everything is empty. And this is the master bath. Everything was empty, and the things you could tell a lot of them were kind of budget or older. So like the lamps, they don't match, and you know, just little things like that. It seems to be an older home. There's where my towels are. This is the dining area, which we didn't use. And then the kitchen area where I left a cabinet door open. And then over here, laundry area. There's a deck on the back, which I didn't use. And then coming back around, cabinets, they're all empty. There's, usually you have some spices and stuff. A lot of times they're left by previous renters. So they did have that. They did have some K-cups, which I also didn't use because I got my own. Also, notice if you like coffee, notice in the pictures when you look at the Airbnb if they have a Keurig or not, because last time in Vermont I bought Keurig cups and they did not have a Keurig, which was very sad. Okay, so then coming through here, you have the other 2 bedrooms, which I already showed you. So here's that one. And then this one that I used the first night, which has the 2 beds, and you already saw the closet, and then the bathroom. So this is good for me too, because then I realize, okay, I did not forget anything. And coming out, I need to shut off those lights, and then we can go. And then looking toward the front at the door. I got out of the Airbnb at exactly 10 minutes of 11. I'm supposed to be out by 11, so that is perfect. I'm going to send the host a quick message telling him that I'm out. I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A, get myself a Cobb salad, and I'm going to, make sure with my car rental that I have the right address to put into my GPS and, all that good stuff. And then they will be taking me to the airport. I'm already checked in for my flight. I've already paid for my bag. So things are looking pretty good. I like to be prepared, especially traveling alone. I don't travel when it's dark if I can avoid it at all. I've done that before, not a fan. So, even if I have to pay a little bit extra, I like to make sure that it's going to be, how I can handle it. It used to be that I never wanted to travel without my husband, but I have gotten braver. The other thing is I always check a bag, and I do that because I don't want to be lifting over my head. I really don't mind sitting at the back of the plane. Honestly, I've seen a lot of what's left of an airplane after an accident, and a lot of times the tail is left. I'm just saying. So I also don't mind the fact that it's near the bathrooms. If I do have to use the bathroom, which I shouldn't have to on this flight, it's only a couple hours long, time of day, supper time. I mean, if it was morning, I drink a ton in the morning. I can't help myself. So that also helps. So I'll be flying into Boston. I'll get off my flight, go get my bag, go out on the street, wait for my bus. I'm taking Concord from Boston to Portland, and then my husband will pick me up at the bus station. So it's a pretty easy travel day. And so I'm doing Chick-fil-A, and then I'm going to have some time because I don't have to, it's 11. I don't have to be at the rental place till 2. So I might, I don't know, I might go to a bookstore, maybe I'll do that and just kind of relax and look at some books. And then when I feel like it's time to go, I'll give myself extra time in case I run into traffic. When we were coming out of the rental place, we definitely ran into traffic because it was an accident on the highway they were cleaning up from. So you just never know. So I like to give myself plenty of time. I don't mind being at the airport hours early. Honestly, I have my AirPods. I will just listen to videos or watch videos. No big deal.
If you're new to my channel and you've made it this far, I am a mom of 7 kids, ranging in ages from 17 to 30 years old. Up to this point, my 4 daughters were still living with me, and my 3 sons are all married, living on their own, and I do have 2 grandchildren from my oldest son. And this was the first time moving one of my daughters out of the house. She's 19 years old, and she is going to be living with a close family friend of ours. So she's in a really good situation. It's going to be a great transition for her, and she's going to be near my youngest son, her brother, and his wife as well. So it's just a great situation all the way around. And I wanted to give you also some final thoughts about traveling by yourself. And what I do is all I take on the airplane with me is what I'm going to be using on the airplane. And I try to pack it very light. That way, if I do have a layover flight, you know, if I have to change planes, if I have to walk a long distance, it's not hard for me to do that alone. So I always check my bag so that I don't have heavy things to carry.
Oh, it's getting cold outside, guys. Oh, imagine I die because it's so cold outside. I can actually see that happening. Girl, why you got the window open?
Because it's my bedroom and I want it open. I like air, oxygen. It's gonna be big.
It's like 70 degrees outside.
I also like how that's not cold. Hey,
To
I got
you.
the air conditioner on 69 at the Airbnb.
Girl.
Mhm.
Poor caterpillars, this is how they feel. That's why they curl up in that ball. Bob the Builder. Remember when we used to watch that?
Yeah. Yep, I do.
She made it so I can't sit on the bed.
You can sit on the bed.
Girl. Oh, I left my phone upstairs.
Why are you sleeping longer than COVID patients? That's the question.
Girl, because I stayed up last night. I couldn't sleep.
Yvonne, she just cracks me up. Okay, a few more things about traveling alone. I like to take the seat on the aisle. That way I'm not trapped or feeling trapped by strangers. It's easy for me to get up and go out to the bathroom if I need to do that. I would much rather get up for people than to have people get up for me or to feel like I'm kind of squished in by people that I don't know. So that would be personal preference for you. I don't take the airlines where you get charged an arm and a leg to check a bag, but it's cheap because I am going to check a bag. Also, I guess I'm a little bit extra, maybe, when I travel alone. I want to be comfortable. For that reason, that's why I travel from Portland to Boston and I fly out of Boston because the places that I go, which really is North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, I can get direct flights if I fly out of Boston, whereas I haven't been able to get direct flights flying out of Portland, Maine. But I do check that just to see. It's also a little bit cheaper to fly out of Boston. See, here's the thing. The first flight can sometimes be late, and then you miss your connecting flight. I've never experienced the bus being late. So it's worth it to me to take the bus for the first leg, even though it does take longer, because it takes about 2 hours from Portland to Boston. But I would rather do that, know that that flight is going to, I'm not going to miss it. I also will get to the airport earlier when I'm alone than I would if I'm traveling with others. I would rather be there super early because then I have time to find my gate. If I have any trouble finding anything, it's super helpful to get there extra early. If I need food, I can get my food, or if I need to use the bathroom 3 times, I can use the bathroom 3 times. So I do try very hard to travel comfortably. When I get off a flight, let's say I did have a connecting flight. I get off the flight, first thing I do is figure out where I'm supposed to be. When I first started traveling by myself, my husband would print out a map of the airline, of the airport for me, and we would talk about where I needed to go. I also would do that if I was flying out of an airport. I don't have a good sense of direction, so even if it's an airport I have flown to before, oftentimes I do get myself turned around. I also ask a lot of questions. I teach my kids to ask questions. So if I'm not sure, I immediately go to an employee and I ask them where I'm supposed to be, and I get very clear directions. If I don't understand what they're saying, I definitely ask again. And between all of those things, I'm able to feel more confident. I do love to travel alone simply because it does give me confidence that I can do it. You know, I do get a little bit nervous still renting a car, but this time it was really great because we had rented from Alamo. I walked out of the airport. Usually you're kind of waiting for the bus, and then I saw the Alamo bus, went right over, and I always show the bus driver I print out my details and I ask the bus driver if I'm on the right bus. So I hope that's helpful to you. Remember, as always, God loves you and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.